No messing about today, we're going straight into it. Magic the Gathering X Final Fantasy Limit Break Precon Upgrade. Let's do this. Cloud X Soldier is 2 red, green, and a white for a legendary creature, human soldier mercenary that's a 4/4 with haste. When Cloud enters, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to it. Whenever Cloud attacks, draw a card for each equipped attacking creature you control. Then if Cloud has 7 power or greater, create 2 treasure tokens. Simple, straightforward, 7+ power, attack for maximum value. There are 3 versions of Cloud that have been revealed so far during spoiler season. We have Cloud Midgard Mercenary, Cloud Planets Champion, and also Cloud X Soldier. Cloud X Soldier is the one that we are going to focus on because he is the commander of the Precon and also pairs really nicely with Tifa, who is also located within this Precon. They care about creatures having 7+ power, so we can attack for maximum damage and also maximum value due to their abilities and triggers, which we'll get into in a second. However, the best Cloud, mechanically speaking, is probably Cloud Midgard Mercenary, as he allows you to tutor for equipment when he enters, and then also doubles the effectiveness of those equipments once he attacks. Anyway, back to Cloud X Soldier and the Precon upgrade. So looking at this deck out of the box, we've got lots of different sections. Obviously, we've got the usual stuff in terms of card draw, protection, we've got removal, we've got ramp, all the things that we like to see, equipment in our equipment deck. But we also have reanimation, we also have direct damage, we have an alt win con, we have multiple token generators. And what I really want to do is streamline this deck down. As we can see from Cloud's ability, he cares about creatures attacking with equipment, and if he has 7 or more power, he then generates more value by creating tokens. Tifa, as I mentioned, also cares about creatures attacking with 7+ power. So what we're going to do, we're going to streamline this deck by removing all of this extra fluff, get into several key creatures, buffing them up to at least 7+ power, and then go into combat, protecting them, making sure we get maximum value from these cards to enable us to win the game. The cards I'm suggesting that we remove from this Precon are Explorer Sculpt, Tool Clamp, Cloud's Limit Break, Lightning Greaves, Avalanche of Sector 7, Secret Rendezvous, Soldier Military Program, Vincent Vengeful Atoner, Aerith the Last Ancient, Barrett Wallace, Hate Sith, Harmonize, Heidegger, Sephiroth the Fallen Hero, The Unfinished Business, Austere Command, Hellkite Tyrant, Summon Kujata, and also the Ultimate Magic Meteor. All of these cards are great and flavorful in terms of the Final Fantasy VII theme, however, they don't get the job done. So if you want to stay on theme, you can probably keep a lot of these cards. If you want to attack and take Cloud to victory, suggest you swap. Quick look at the stats before we do the upgrade. As you can see, we're running lots of 2 and 3 drops. They're both about the same level right up there. After that, we're running quite a few 4s and 5s and 6s. We want to trim this down a little bit because 5 is when Cloud comes out, and then after that point, we want to be double spelling, casting equipment, attaching that equipment to our key creatures that buff them to 7 power, and then attacking. So it's only the key bits of utility that we want to use at this higher end of mana value. Average mana value in the deck is 2.95 at the moment. We have 35% of the deck is white, 29% red, and 24% is green. Those 29% of the deck is colourless. I imagine that's going to go up once I put all the upgrades in, all the extra equipments and things like that. The mana base does cover it, however a lot of the mana base enters tapped, so would definitely recommend upgrading that if you can. Here is the deck after the upgrade. As you can see, we are focusing a lot more now on equipping equipment for free, as well as utilising more equipment and making sure we can protect those characters. There is a little bit of reanimation still in here, but it's mostly on those key characters that we're going to be attacking with. We still have our ramp, our card draw, our removal, all things like that. But we also have lots of ways of giving our creatures trample, vigilance, lifelink, all those key combat related words that are going to make sure that we get through to do the job that we want to do, which is eliminate our opponents all the time while triggering Cloud and both Tifa and our fellow party members. So the cards that I'm adding are Own Naginata, Hit-Boy 3000, Shadow Spear, Sigarda's Aid, Sword to Plowshare, Tarian Soulcleave. Did I add Sword to Plowshare? Was that not in the Precon to start with? Tarian Soulcleaver, Blackblade Reforge, Anduriel Flame of the West, Arden Intrepid Archaeologist, we've got Codsworth Handy Helper, Forebearer's Blade, Godsend, Loxodon Warhammer, Mithril Coat, Savine's Reclamation, Halvar God of Battle, Loyal Unicorn, Cauldron Complete, and Excalibur Sword of Eden. So what do all these new cards do for us? Well, to get to 7+ power, we've got the Organata, the Blackblade, the Tarian Soulcleaver, the Pip-Boy, the Anduin, the Forebearer's Blade, the Godsend, the Loxodon Warhammer, the Cauldron Complete, and the Excalibur. To give us more protection, that's where we have the Loyal Unicorn, the Caldra, and the Mithril Coat, as well as the Codsworth. Pip-Boy also gives us some odd draw. We've got some instant speed interaction with Sigarda's Aid, extra removal with cards such as Swords to Plowshare, Caldra Complete, and also the Godsend. We have some more reanimation type of effects with Halvor and Sabine's Reclamation, and to further help us get around equip costs, we've got Ardent, Codsworth, and obviously Sigarda's Aid along with Halvar as well. Here is the stats after the upgrade. As you can see, our mana curve now curves up a little bit better and then dies off once we get to 5, 6, 7 plus cards. So meaning we can cast everything up to 1, 2, and 3. And then once we start to get to that 5, 6 mana point, we can now start to double spell, cast our equipment, equip it all on the same turn, meaning we can attack with Cloud pretty straightforward. Average mana value of our deck now is 2.74, so we've brought that down just a little bit. As I mentioned, the colourless part of the deck has gone up as we've added in more equipment, meaning our mana base is going to be less restrictive because there's a lot of tap lands in this precon. 35% of the deck is white, 16% is now red, and 21% is green. So you can see we've cut a little bit of the red and the green. So yeah, the mana base covers it all. Remember those tempo hits when you're playing those tap lands. Upgrade those if you want to. I know there's a big 12 drop over here. That's obviously the Excalibur. It's probably more likely going to cost you 4 or 5, so it's going to sit around this point. Nice, smooth, simple, straightforward game plan. Love it. And some other cards you might want to consider when you're building and upgrading this deck, and that's Basilisk Collar, Commander's Plate, Infiltration Lens, Rogue's Gloves. We've got Umezawa's Jitte, which I think is the Final Fantasy within version of this. We've got the classic Buster Sword, Sunforger, Reaver Cleaver, Brass Knuckles, and Embercleave. I think Cloud lends himself quite well to being a Sunforger based deck, because once he's got 7+ power, which Sunforger will give him, he can then create those 2 treasure tokens, unequip the Sunforger, find your instant spell. It's like attacking and casting magic all at the same time. Out of those equipment, Infiltration Lens, Rogue's Gloves, and the Buster Swords all give us card draw. Basilisk Collar, Reaver Cleaver, Brass Knuckles, and Embercleave all give us more keywords. Commander's Plate gives us more protection. If you want more ramp, obviously we get some of that from the Reaver Cleaver, but Farseek and 3 Visits are fantastic includes in this deck, especially if you're going to start upgrading your mana base with shocks, surveil lands, things like that. Better targets to find with these cards. And then in terms of removal, Get Lost, Generous Gift, Stroke of Midnight gives us more ways of targeting, more range of permanents, and not so much just the creatures. So we can hit those pesky artifacts, enchantments, things like that, planeswalkers that people might be playing. So yeah, a few things that you might want to consider. And there we have it. That is the Magic the Gathering X Final Fantasy VII Limit Break Precon upgrade video done. It's a really streamlined deck now. I felt like the original one was pulling in quite a few different directions. I know they like to do that for flavor reasons and also give people different avenues that they might want to explore. But this just really hones in on that, getting to 7+ power, attacking, being straight to the point. I guess it's a bit like playing a Final Fantasy game. You equip your party, you go to combat, smash face, rinse, repeat. And that's what you're going to do to each of your opponents. Anyway, if you've enjoyed that video, maybe you want to check out one of the other Final Fantasy upgrade guides I've done. There'll be a whole playlist up here. And yeah, I appreciate your support. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye for now.